everybody. This is Christine Woodrow talking to you from Sydney. This time last year, I was in Chile, in Valparaiso, in a very cold winter, enjoying your company at the winter school. I'm so sorry we can't be here this time with you. Circumstances certainly don't allow any of us to go on a plane. We know that life is very complicated in Chile. It's been complicated here, and we send you our warmest regards. We've been in touch with Veronica and send her our warm wishes as well. And we've gathered together some of the people that we've been working with to give you some Australian perspectives on how it's been working in difficult circumstances as teachers in the context of COVID-19. So today I'd like to introduce to you an early childhood teacher, Jill Huntley, who works in a South Australian early childhood context, and she's going to tell you a bit about her experiences when children have been doing their learning from home. So thank you very much, Jill, for joining us.
A pleasure. Ninamani, everybody, which is our local Narungga language, and I'm saying hello to you all and asking you to stay safe during COVID-19, which is having such an impact on us all. I work in a preschool with 4 to 5-year-old children, and alongside of that we have integrated a rural daycare program with up to 2 to 4 other educators a day and approximately 25 children. With COVID-19, our preschool children were asked to stay home for the last week of last term, term 2, which was then followed by 2 weeks of holidays. During that week, we were given as educators time to develop at-home learning opportunities, which isn't always that easy with young children, as you know, because it's so practical and hands-on. However, we did come up with a bag or two of lots of information in there. And then we used some of those bags with children that didn't come back in term 2 due to the fact they've got vulnerable family members. So some of those children were in our local town of Yorktown, and some were delivered into rural country farms up to 30 kilometres away. The main challenge some of our families found was having their children home longer than they were used to. That was particularly hard for some families. And they commented that they were missing the educators and on how much we were valued, which is always a good thing. How children received their learning. As I said, it's very hard to come up with extra ideas, but we had big paper bags and we had items such as pencils, drawing books that we'd made, paste, brushes, materials that they could make things with. And there were other sheets with ideas of games that the children could do with families, things they could make, and recipes for dough and other sensory experiences. We also included a number line, 1 to 10, and a dice, and a lot of seeds, nuts, and little rocks, natural products that they could use for counting. Families told us how excited the children were to get the bag and how important they felt having that. We also rang each child during the week and spoke to them and asked how they were getting on, what were they doing with the items in the bag, etc. And they loved that. We also made a couple of videos. I did one with a child actually reading the story, and then I did another one of me reading the story, which went up on Facebook, and lots of comments on our Facebook site about that. We also did a whole team video doing some slightly crazy things with messages saying, stay safe in COVID-19, we're missing you, won't be long till you get back. And fortunately for us in South Australia, it hasn't been long. We encouraged families to sit down with their children and play some games with them and to talk sensibly with them about COVID-19. Children need to understand what the virus is, what it can do, but reassuring them at the same time. So what we've learnt from that is that when a child's away now through illness, and particularly those 2 children that didn't return after the holidays because of a vulnerable family member, we rang those children every couple of days. And that seemed to reassure them that we were still there. We put the children up on the video, and it was a good sharing time. And I think those connections with the children and with the families were very valuable, as relationships is one of the bases on which we work. If we have to go into isolation again, I think we'd probably do it a bit differently, and I think we might try and do a bit more online learning, but it would be more something in which the children participate. So I don't know if you know it, but our Australian Broadcasting Commission has a fabulous children's program called Play School. And I think we could recreate some of that by using some of the familiar dolls, toys and teddies that they're familiar with, and puppets at our centre. Have those sitting around, but then inviting our children to participate in well-known stories and well-loved songs and games. So I think that would be a better way to go in lots of ways. It would encourage more one-to-one interaction. We'd be able to see each other. I think that might be a little bit more reassuring as well. But let's hope we don't have to. And I understand that you have quite a considerable time away from your children and families. And I think anything you can do to help keep those relationships going between educators and children and families is brilliant. Thank you, and all the best. Stay safe.